And why do you go by Aura? What does that mean?
It was given to me by this hippie guy that I knew up in New Hampshire, and he always told me that I was a very good person on reading aura, and I just had that vibe that...
So reading people's like energy and
reading
personality?
Their energy, but also like with my positivity that I have and that I try to push out, as well as I'm human, so I try to show, like, you know, there are some not positive things, but everything I have, I believe that I can, how do you say, I can project towards other people's energy as well, and especially I feed off their energy just like everyone else does, but I feel like in a sense I've always fed off more of people's energies, where I can meet people and I can know their story, but I want to do more with that. I know I can't cure the world, but I want to cure the people that feel that way, and that's why I do the music I do, to come into 360 of why Aura does music. Aura does music to just show you that I am everywhere and I'm everything. I'm you, you are me, we are all, we are Aura.
So Aura, does that intertwine? How would that determine what music? How does that collide music and the name?
It collides with music in a ironic way that Aura is not hip hop, Aura is not rock, Aura is not any genre. If I believe in time, I don't know, 10 years, I don't want to put a date on it, but I know that they'll give me my own genre to what type of music.
What, make any type of music that you want and not being set in a category?
Exactly, that they create a category for myself of what I do, and I hope more artists like that can be inspired to do the same thing and be in that category. Not meaning this is my category, but, you know, Run DMC, they really like elevated the whole hip rock, hip hop sound, and I mean, just like any other artist, like Big L got the streets going.
So how do you, but in today's time, you think that's possible, being able to do different genres? Because if you guys don't know, he has like color hair, you know, he has a certain style that's really popular out now, and they tend to categorize those type of people in one box. So you think that's possible? You think, how would you be able to do that when they do what Tekashi like that? They put them all in one box.
Because their actions show, though, when there's people that have that stigma and don't even give the person the time or day and chance because of the past history of other things that artists like me that have that look do. But I will always say I've done this look since, I don't know, for years now. Just I'm sure as every artist has. But in my eyes, I want to destroy that stigma that, like, I know Trippie Redd is a great example. Even XX and Tashion, besides all the allegations, like, they tried to show you that there's just, like, there's more to that image. Like, just because I'm ugly, like, and I read.
You said just because you ugly.
No, but people think though, like, there's people in this world that they think there's ugly people because you have tattoos on your hands or even on your arm, like one tattoo, and God forbid the ones that have the ones on their face, they think they're hideous. I've never heard anyone over the age of 18 tell me that was attractive. And I pay attention to those things, and I just want to destroy stigma, just like a lot of stigmas of the white rapper industry, from just wanted to make it not an industry of white or black or Mexican and have a segregation. It's just everyone's making music together, and no pun intended, everyone's aura is working together, and that's how aura will always come along and always be there. It's like
a full circle.
It's air, you know. It's you have an aura. It's a soul. So like that's where that aura and that music.
So with the whole aura, how do you decide, okay, when you hear a beat, are you going to say like, okay, so I hear this beat, so I'm going to be rapping over this beat, or I'm going to be, how do you even separate the different categories when you hear like a certain beat or you create a beat?
I mean, it's all about the vibe of the producer. For instance, I mean, if you have a
do you make the beat? No.
No, I've only made one beat in my life, and it was a ballad, and that's about it.
So when your friends send over?
Yeah, my friends send, I find them, I network, I do everything I can to just be able to get a well-quality sounded beat from those YouTube beats that, you know, after people download those beats, they're kind of distorted.
So you'll take a hip-hop beat and then, but you won't exactly be all hip-hop. You'll switch it and make it your own. You make it different.
Absolutely. I mean, I've found very interesting alternative folk sounds that just, not even folk, just like alternative rock that like they make this crazy like, or even electric, because they throw those electric sounds in there, but like that whole collective group of like that punk electric sound, they make music for hip-hop, and people just don't understand the whole sample game or even just finding that gem of a song that no one's really heard, and that person never got that opportunity to really get their song out there because of their platform. Mm-hmm. So when you find that platform of an artist, it just an up and up on both ends as I look at it. And I mean, I have my own producer, he makes his beats, I live with the producer that makes his own beats for us.
So what do you think? Okay, so once you get out there and you get more recognized, what are you gonna do with those people that are gonna judge you off the way you look, and they're not gonna even give you a chance? They're gonna be like, he can't really rap, da da da. They're basing off the way you look. So how would you prove to those people like, no, I actually can rap? Do you do like battles? Or do you do this, like, did you study the hip-hop before you even got into it? Was it more of a study thing?
Of course.
Or
I mean,
you paying homage, respect, because that's what they're going to want.
I mean, everyone wants to hear that new artist, especially now in 2018. They're going to want to hear who's those old heads that you listen to, who's your OGs that you grew up to respect. And, I mean, before you ask that question, I already threw out two great names of Big L.
Because that one guy, who's that one guy you told me about? And he rated Tupac what number?
Lil Xan.
Lil 2? Like 2 or something like that? That's insane.
That was, I mean, you just gotta, at that type of point, I forget what interview I watched, but it was just the best information to give to someone like that doesn't have that background of hip-hop. And I'm 2 years older than him. I'm not that far. We've listened to the same music, and he just did a show playing California Love, a very popular song. The reason why he says that, though, they say him listening to it was a 2. That kid has probably one song, and that's maybe at a party, at a club. He's not waking up in the morning trying to smoke or trying to do something with his day listening to Tupac.
Yeah.
And that's just a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is kind of doing their own thing. They're not really doing the study of it. They're like, you don't actually have to study the hip-hop now.
They forget, though. That's the thing. And they thinking they're about to study. They don't need study, because with studying, it's either, if you don't live in that exact, if you're not in that sim world, that city, that reality of, or that music industry fully, to be experiencing and having those experiences, talk about it, see these stories, because that's all that it is. The stories be fed by stories, and fiction making something bigger than it is in music.
So let's kind of take it back. So like, when did you decide like, oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna do? Like what's the one thing that motivated you to actually push this forward, and with the SoundCloud and recording, and then having your own little recording studio, doing everything on your own? What pushed you to do that?
Listening to music and wanting to get out.
Because you're very creative. You do a lot. You don't just do music. You design the whole art. So what makes you want to just be like, you know what? Like, this is what I want to wanted to do? What pushed you in the first place to even?
Because it's not what it made me happy, but at a point I did a song once before I had ever had a SoundCloud when I was just writing in North Carolina. I wrote the song and my delivery was trash. It was just a well-ly crafted story, but not great bar delivery. And I witnessed this girl crying to actually hearing this shit, and ever since I saw the emotion and affection that I myself did to somebody, and like really this like got in her feelings and familiarized or reflected on that.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then I thought this could be actually something I could do, because I've always did write, and in my town.
So now, is your delivery better, or are you still working on your delivery?
I mean, I'm always going to work on my delivery, but I believe it's got stronger than ever. I mean, you do something 1,000 times, you're going to end up getting it very well and learning how to play with it even more.
So you're going to talk about your music, you talk about everything, or is it mostly like how it's going on now, like drugs, money, all the girls? Is it creating a lifestyle? Are you pretending, or is it actually real what you're rapping about?
I guess that's a 3-part answer in a way. To get that all drugs and all that mumble, and they say mumble rap, you have to give the consumer something.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a conversation with my friend about it, that a great person like XXXTentacion blew up with such a hype trap mumble song, this. And now if you listen to his first album, his second album, and I'm sure his third album is about to come out with, it is left field, taking a U-turn in a whole nother realm, because he gave that opportunity that everyone wanted that. So he did what you want to hear, and then did what he really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he still has those bangers. He has a great song that he can still think you can hear that Look at Me Now, and you get back in that feeling that you had when you jammed out.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, he still showed you that I do more than that. But right now in this industry, it's either you come out like a young M.A. and have bar after bar after bar after bar with such a big clout behind you as a pulling between the streets, meaning clout.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who really pushes a lot of those artists. Meek Mill, another instance. He did battles after battles after battles, did 2 mixtapes, 3 mixtapes, and all of a sudden they say he needs to meet Rick Ross, and he comes into the radio station. That's the first time they ever met.
So then what do you feel like that's going to push you, as like those artists are getting pushed? What's going to push you to...
I think something new will come along in a way, or something that I can't expect. It's just it's all about getting your name and your face out there. If it's just going to a show that you're not even booked for, that it's a show, you go to it, you introduce yourself. A great mentor told me once, when you meet somebody and they say they don't know who you are, you don't bug out on them, but you come off like, oh, why don't you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guess what? I'm about to tell you who I am, because I am the shit. I am this, I am that, and I can do all that.
Going outside the street when we were in Antioch, playing basketball, and I make believe I'm hurt, or he fouled me, and just that laugh. I'll never forget those days. Liam, just him playing that Godzilla video game, and Sean looking at me and said, he's good. He's really good. But from the movies, and remember Dante's Peak, Sean sitting on my lap, and he knew I'd walk out of a movie if somebody died, and he's like saying, it's okay, Bobby, the grandmother dies, but it's okay, not everybody dies.
To it. Point to the Liberty Bell. Don't go there. No. Say bye.
Shorty coming over. tell you bring your sister too. And it's a reefer party, we baking out every room. You just bad as hell, I think the devil say.